All right, all right, all right. I don't know how many of you are in here. Ooh, a little focus in, right? So you do that. So Milan win. Not gonna take too much time on here to really discuss everything that went down today. Again, for Milan, it's just collecting 3 more points. Happy to kind of finally do something in terms of a live match reaction to discuss this club to an extent. I've obviously been very busy with work. I haven't been able to um, really do the amount of content live wise that I've been hoping to do. So obviously, one of these days, like today, I finally got a chance to do this. So very happy to kind of just chat with a few of you guys just for a little bit. Posted the latest TikTok video, so be sure to do all that. Be sure to like, subscribe, give me your thoughts on today's match. And yeah, we'll be going on Kush's channel later today, so stay tuned for that one. Show our good friend some support over there. He's been going through quite a bit lately. We'll get into that afterwards. But again, we're really here to discuss Milan for a decent amount of time. Podcast recording tomorrow with Santangelo. Won't be around to do post-match recording for Bologna. Won't be around to record as well for the Coppa Italia final. Everything will be after that. So today and tomorrow are the last bits of content that you'll see for a little bit. I'm just not going to be around, so I apologize. I have a wedding to go to. So yeah, with that, Milan somehow, some way beat Genoa. Pretty pathetic to say in general, but just want to say hello to a couple of people. Game Central in here. 3 points are 3 points. Abdul. Yeah, I mean, not much left to say with Musa struggling once again. Anthony in here as always. And Altanada will take 3 points any day, of course. A good win, team morale heading into the back-to-back games versus Bologna. Yeah, so we'll see it. We'll see how that goes. I think I'll comment on that a little bit after. But really, just today is just about this match. Yeah, I mean, little surprises to the 11 essentially are just the fact that Leao was not starting within this one. We see Loftus-Cheek start his first match since November. Fofana came off injured, which was kind of depressing in a way. We'll see what happens there. I haven't really read too much regarding that. If anything pops up, you guys could just let me know in the channel and chat over here. Hello, Nicola. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Welcome back to anyone who's in here. I know it's been a very long and stressful season, so I don't anticipate too many of you being in here, and that's perfectly okay because we know we barely even want to listen or talk about Milan in the first place, let alone you guys tune in and check it out. So genuinely no hard feelings by anybody whatsoever in regards to this, just because, yeah. So again, so essentially what we really kind of want to talk about here is that Milan are a side that are very clearly in ninth place for a reason. We saw it today. We saw the marking. It's abysmal. It's very amateurish. I just want to get into that one because to me, the bad conceded goal, this is just flat out fundamentals of defending with communication, anticipation. Pavlovic, Gabia, neither understand how to communicate in that situation. I could pull up a screenshot of what the marking looked like within that one. But again, when you're looking at something like that, you're going to have to be able to. Sorry. You're going to have to be able to figure that out. Um, 1 second. Sorry, fellas. Okay, here we go. This is shit. Just trying to find it. Also, I forgot to send. So if you see the marking here, I'm going to try and zoom in best as possible. This is in the moment when the ball is about to land. So why is it giving me Fugazi stuff? Either way, you guys are able to see it. The ball is right there floating above Pavlovic. And then it obviously lands at Vitinha's feet. We see Teo off to the side. But truthfully here, Tomori is around the player on the outside of the box. I think that could have been Pinamonti. It's really hard to tell. But there, Gabia has to go to the man who is clearly anticipating going for the ball. Pavlovic is in no man's land, not marking anyone. The communication between both Gabi and Pavlovic in this situation are exactly why they are not at the standard. And I like Gabi. I think Gabi has put in some pretty good shifts over the course of the past year and a half since he's returned from loan. But truthfully, it's stuff like this. Again, it's just a communication breakdown. We've seen it too many times. It's inexcusable. And Genoa end up going up because of that. I just think that when we're seeing these types of things unfold time and time again, and we look at the standings, we're like, yeah, okay, that checks out. That makes a lot of sense. Because truthfully, I don't see how you could sit here and say that you're excited or anticipating next season to be a better one when you have situations like this. This is why, to an extent, when I was defending Pioli, to an extent, and the same thing with Conceição, Fonseca too. And it's not to say that all three were doing good jobs as managers, but in these situations, that has everything to do with individuals at the professional level not understanding fundamentals. And the fact that they don't understand fundamentals says everything you need to know about where this project is, who the people up in charge are about, and the players that they sign, because they're incapable of doing the very basics against Genoa, of all teams, who haven't scored in a month, by the way. It took them a month to score. Everybody knew Milan were going to concede in this one. To who? Who knows? Even Vitinha, that was Vitinha's first touch of the match, and he ends up scoring that. It just to me, I find it so frustrating, and it is what it is, because like what else do we want to say? Because it just is what it is. That's why there isn't that much content. That's why we don't like beat a dead horse that much anymore. We all know it. We all know what the problem is. They're poor players. They're players in which we see on a consistent basis make fundamental errors, and we're tired of it. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, because what's the point? We all get it. We all know that you. To me is what I really get annoyed at is like, what is the communication level? Like, where's the leader stepping up in this? Who is the leader? Magnan can only say and do so much. Magnan was unbelievable today. He was vintage Magnan. He saved this game. Milan could have very easily have lost if it wasn't for him. And we can say that quite often this season. He's been able to stay healthy, but this is the errors of the management not identifying top talent. This is also a slight reflection of these players being incapable of doing well. It's also part of the managers not helping these players improve too. It's just a litany of issues. You could blame so many different people, point the fingers in multiple directions. Everybody across the board not good enough. And it always goes back to that Simone Kier quote: "We always concede shit goals." So, anyways, just want to give another shout out to Mike Magnan. Again, I think he's man of the match for over the course of the 90 minutes. I think he was very obviously the reason why they were able to win this game outside of Leao. So you guys can really choose for that one. But I think it's fairly obvious who the player that we can all point to and say, yeah, this is the reason why we won today. So yeah, that was a great job by Magnan. I don't really have much left to say regarding him and some of your thoughts. RLC not doing a great job. I think we all know that about RLC. He can't stay healthy, doesn't have a defined position within this team. He's better as like a box-to-box midfielder. I don't think he's up to Milan standards. Would be fine as a rotational piece, but I think him going back to the UK is a strong possibility. So I don't really anticipate someone else like him staying. I can also see Musa leaving as well. So that's really everything regarding that in RLC. So again, Mike Magnan, phenomenal performance. Rafael Leao, I mean, he saved the day. I tweeted it out prior to the match starting because he was on the bench for this one. He ended up coming in because Fofana got his injury again. Don't have any updates as of yet regarding Fofana. As soon as I see something regarding that, I will absolutely give you guys some information in regards to it. So to me, it's just silly. how all of this is. Sorry, just trying to read some updates, guys. Where is this? We can go to Milan I. So we're not really getting quotes up just yet. Well, we got some interesting comments from Billy Costa Curta, who is a Milan legend, just basically talking about Ferlani and Ibrahimovic, who were not at the match tonight, which kind of speaks volumes about their presence and where they're at. Moncada was the one giving the pregame comments, by the way. So, also just gonna this down a little bit, a little bright. Basically, what Billy Costa Corta ended up saying was times have changed, but I don't think Galliani has ever lost a match, aka like not been to a match. Their absence is an anomaly. Maybe they're out looking for the sporting director, which is a fair point by Billy. But to me, I find it I find it like insane to say how these guys on May 5th don't have a sporting director. There has been no sporting director signed. I find it insane. Hello, Zion, by the way. Is Teo going to Real Madrid? Michael, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't tell you, to be honest with you. Um, so yeah. RLC Musa Tomori, Royal, Tericiano, Abraham, Chukwueze, Okafor, Ali, Pobega, Salamakers, all players. I agree with you, Zion. I would argue to keep maybe Tomori and Abraham. But if an offer comes in that's good enough for Tomori, I'm perfectly fine with it. If Abraham cuts his wages, he could stay. But I 100% agree with you. You've been listening in and tuning in. I'm right there with you. All those guys, you offload them, you get money for CDK. Suddenly, Milan have some semblance of a budget to try and reinvigorate the squad, hopefully with a sporting director that is competent enough. Can't afford to lose Fofana, especially after facing Bologna in the final. Yeah, I know, but Zion is game central. Zion is essentially saying, "Don't bring back Abraham." I think Abraham for Salamaker swap is definitely on the table, guys. Gmax is asking, "Are you okay?" I don't know what that means. I mean, I'm normal. But yeah, Leao absolutely was the one who ended up saving this, creating off of the bench, scoring that goal. Santi Gimenez providing a great assist. I thought it was a good run by him. He just seems to keep producing when given opportunities. It was nice to see him get involved within this match and show a decent amount in terms of just his capabilities and what he's able to do on the pitch. So again, it's just going in there, even if the whole entirety of it all would be great. So yeah, it's funny that Ferlani needs more than a couple months. Ferlani has been taking over 6 months to find a sporting director. I've said what I've said on this guy, and I just think he's way in over his head. He might be a decent guy. I don't know him personally, but he's way in over his head. I don't think he knows what he's doing, and it's overwhelming for him. And there's a lack of structure at the club, like we've all said and identified forever. There's not much left to say with that. And then I guess we could talk about Fofana going off injured. Fofana going off injured again. No updates there, but truthfully, this is just all about Milan not doing a good enough job. We have something from Antonio Vitiello. Yeah, I mean nothing really update wise there. Yeah, I just find a lot of this stuff to be truthfully embarrassing. Um, in regards to the way that they're going about this search. I've recently been exposed to more online Milan fans, and God, you're not joking when you say that. Nicola, don't expose yourself anymore. Don't do it any further. I'm doing it just because this is just a passion of mine, and Matt and I have been doing this for years on end, and we're not backing off now to say this kind of stuff because yeah, I mean, like, but it's just it's just kind of a waste of time when it comes to this kind of shit. So for me, it's just you have to ignore it if you can. I'm not good at it. Tamori has to work on his passes, misplaced. Tamori always misplaces a lot of passes. Tamori is a poor technical player. Tamori is great in terms of physicality. Every now and then his anticipation is okay. Way too inconsistent of a player. I wouldn't mind giving him. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's really just like embarrassing when it comes to all that kind of stuff. I think we're going to get the Copa, says Max. Hey, listen, anything can happen. Milan have the best players in the game. Just hope our guys come through. Is really what it is. I'm gonna try and have to watch that as best I can. And just to kind of wrap up here, guys, there isn't too much left, right? Left. Oh, where's this? Yeah, I mean, listen. Second goal, Rafael Leao creates it. João Felix should have scored it. Ends up being an own goal. The second time, excuse me, that's happened. I forget the other one. It could have been against Empoli where that happened, that situation. Um, but there was another match this season where João was in the position to score a goal, tries to score it, and then ends up getting, or the opposing team ends up conceding and but via own goal. So yeah, I mean, listen, this is just another 3 points for Milan. They're like hanging on for dear life to make Champions League. They're not going to. The likelihood of Europa League is still on the table. Same situation that you could say for Coppa Italia for Milan to get there. Truthfully, that's really kind of it when discussing this. We'll be talking a little bit tomorrow with myself and Santangelo. Um, we appreciate every single one of you that still support us, regardless of how the season has gone. Again, there's 50 of you in here, which I respect all of you, all very loyal watchers, followers, listeners. Again, 9 likes on this. If we could just get some more likes on it, it greatly helps us on the channel and hopefully gets us exposed a little bit more. But I have time, 2 minutes for questions. So if you want to shoot off some questions in the chat, feel free to do so while I scroll Twitter to see if there's any updates regarding Yusuf Fofana. Um, Sorry, some Knicks fans just opening their mouth have to put that in there. Okay, sorry, couple Martino ugly game, bro. Telling me, bro. Almost fell asleep. I was a 49er fan during the Alex Smith years. I've seen worse. Bro, I'm a Jets fan. Good night, Abdul. G-Max. Forza Milan. Yeah, Rocco, unfiltered. Ugly game. Weather was ugly. Play was ugly. Pretty much every facet of that was bad. Anthony says, if we part ways with Conceição, the management has to bring in an upgrade. Otherwise, we'll have the same shit. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously. You know that. We all know that. Rocco, I have no idea why Leao had sat as well. I honestly can't give you a truthful answer for that. So if I could, I would. Seems like Tammy and or Jovic are leaving. Thoughts? I mean, listen, I think one of the two will stay because it'll be. I just find it very curious. I think most would be naive to say if the people who do think that Jovic, Tammy, Camarda, and Santi are all the strikers heading into next season. I think that's silly to anticipate. 4 is not bad, but I have a hard time understanding or seeing the justification for keeping that many of those guys because I think there all is a case for each of them to kind of start or get decent minutes. I don't know. Pulisic isn't leaving. I think he's going to be extending his contract. Leao suspended a game against Bologna. So, no, I mean he's suspended for this one now once he got the yellow, but I don't think Conceição cared. We don't have word on it. Yeah, Rocco. I think listen, Santi's been through some difficult stuff. He arrived mid-season. There's fitness differences. There are adaptations to Serie A. There's adaptations to a new team. It's a struggling team. There's a lot of pressure. Him being a Mexican national team star, him just playing for Milan, being one of the first Mexicans to play for them. There's just so many different factors. I think he's handled himself pretty well in that regard. So it's really nice to see. I think he's a solid player in the final third. Outside of his game in general, work rate, not the greatest. There isn't a lot to boast about with link-up play. He's obviously not the greatest athlete in the world, but I've said this. I talked to Ali about this. Matt and I have discussed this. It's his nose for goal. It's just his ability to be sort of in the right spots. His finishing is not the greatest either. I just think it's a sound player that's going to be capable of helping this team produce. And I think that's the most important thing. I think there will be a lot of consistency with him, but in terms of elite play, I don't think he's going to be that. And that's okay to an extent these days. So yeah. And yeah, well, I mean, strikers don't get too much service. I don't blame the creators. Guys like Leao, Pulisic, they're always creating. They're up there with assists in Serie A. They're not the problem. We all know what it is. It's a build-up problem. There's a shaky foundation at the back, and there's a lack of control within the midfield to help facilitate. Do I think Fabregas would be good for Roma? I think that's a big-ish leap for him. I think he's capable of handling it. He's a legendary player. We know what his acumen is as a football, figure. And I think he can handle the pressure of Roma. I just don't think that's the necessary step for him. I think Roma operating in the markets of a Gasparini, of even a Allegri, Italiano, I think those sort of managers are the ones that they should be looking for. I think they need to nail it. I think Roma have some good momentum here, kind of like they did at the end of last season. They need to have that consistent 38-game season. Roma having these shit starts and then and again, the 19-match undefeated streak, that's irrepeatable. They're not going to do that again next year. I don't think it's the right thing. I think Anthony's correct. So yeah. Camarda isn't going anywhere, Gmax, at all. I think Camarda stays. I think Camarda is going to continue to develop. Milan just did a shit job this year with him. So again, that's kind of it for me, guys. I'm going to leave here on this note. I appreciate you all greatly. Nicola, Rocco, Zion, always great to see you. Love your insights and comments. Anthony, #1 supporter all the time. Rocco, 19 points from losing position this year. Right, says it all, right? And that could just be in 2025. I wouldn't even know. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Like up the video. Look at everything that you guys can. Check out our latest podcast. Give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple for that. And go and check out Kush's YouTube channel. That's where I'll be right after this. So take care. Bye, guys.